Hi, everyone. Welcome to Girl Scouts of Silver Sage. My name is Kim Ross, and I am here with Kim H. She is here to help us talk about the initial order by troop. And we are going to go over that as well as give you some tips about what to order. And then also the percentages of cookies that we've experienced in the past and what we would recommend for different kinds of booths. We get asked that question a lot. The answer is always, it depends. And so we'll talk a little bit about what it depends on and how we get there. All right, Kim, take it away.
All right. So there are two ways to submit your initial order. One is doing it by troop. So you have all of the orders that your girls possibly, need. Um, you have them listed out by variety, pop all of that in there, and you order it by troop. And then um, after the order is placed, you do your troop to troop transfers to submit your initial orders by girl. The other way to do it is do them by girl. So you would have the order cards that your girls have been walking around with. In addition, all of the orders that come over from Digital Cookie, and you pop those orders into the Smart Cookies initial order tab. Um, if your parents didn't already do it in Digital Cookie, different troops are doing it different ways, so that's an option too. But going in through here, the process you'll go into to get to the screen is similar. They share the same space. So the process is the same, just if you're doing it by girl versus by troop. Then either way, you'll end up at the bottom of the screen, have this section where you can order things, extra booth cookies for your troop. This might have a couple of onesie twosie ones already in there by the time you get down there, because they do round if you're entering them by girl, and say you have only 11 thin mints you need. There will be one straggler thin mint in your booth extras already, because it does round up to the next case. All cases have 12 packages of cookies in them. The last thing we'll do on there is you select a date and time or a delivery section for the initial order. This delivery space will most likely, if not always, be your designated space by your service unit cookie manager. Those addresses have already been pre-populated or pre-entered by them, so that will display. So you just have to click on it. Some of them will allow you to choose a time slot. Otherwise, some of them will contact you the day they know they're getting the cookies and say, hey, cookies are going to be delivered today. I'm accepting everyone, everyone can come in tomorrow, and that gives me time to count them all up. So we're going to have everybody start coming Saturday. Will 10 a.m. work for you? And then they'll give you a time slot when they know when the cookies will be ready for you to pick up. Again, this still to vary by service unit as to how your service unit cookie manager is going to handle it. All right, let's go to the next slide. So when you're in ABC Smart Cookies, you will find your orders tab, and you'll click on your troop initial order. That's how we're going to start the initial order process. So next slide. So in your box, you will now see you are in your initial order screen. This is where that will take place. If you look down towards the bottom, it will have that big red bar. At the very bottom right, it's not highlighted, but it's there. It'll say ready for review. That is the button that you are going to eventually click on that says Service Unit Cookie Manager. My order is placed. I am ready. Take it away. If you click on that too early, you can still have adjustments. They just have to go through that Service Unit Cookie Manager. They have an extra day beyond when you submit it in order to make any of those changes. And the majority of them should be reaching out to all of the troop cookie managers to say, hey, I see your order in there. It looks good. Did you have any adjustments you wanted to make? Or maybe they'll reach out like mine did last year and say, hey, that's a lot of peanut butter sandwiches. Are you sure you want that many peanut butter sandwiches? And I was like, well, why do they not sell as well? Because I'm from the Midwest. Peanut butter sandwiches sold really well there. They don't sell as well out here. So um, so that was definitely a thing. And so she was just like, yeah, that's, maybe we want to tweak that a little bit. And I was glad that she mentioned it because we had a lot left over from our initial order all the way at the end of the season. Um, so I was glad she said something. And then if we have any sort of um, issues with the gluten-free order again, where we need troops to maybe reduce because the troop booth extra order is just too large. That went through the service unit cookie managers again. So they will reach out and just be like, hey, everybody's being asked to do this. You can either do so voluntarily and maybe we can get everything to be, under the numbers we need. Or if you don't, you might just end up not having some on there because we do have to eventually move some. They are pre-ordered and we only get so many. So there's only so
We
many to
scroll
give away.
down on this page. I have something I would like to share. I've got some fun news, and that is everybody ready? Drum roll, please, on this page. Since we did smart cookies last year, if your troop sold cookies last year, you will have a non-zero number at the bottom. You'll see each of these numbers that say per girl average, troop initial order packages, and all those things. You will have an actual number there for last year. So you will be able to make some decisions if you want to use that as a guide for what we could do this year. So the initial order from the previous season will be shown, and the current season's quantity will display once entered. And then also the troop initial order and total sales and all that stuff will be shown. So that is very exciting.
Yes,
All right. Are you ready for the next slide? So we scroll down this very long screen.
Yes.
All right, here we go. So you remember that the red bar was at the bottom on the last slide, and now it's on the top because we've scrolled down on that initial order page.
Yes. So, oh my gosh, this is really tiny on this screen. So in here, you'll see a couple of different columns. And this is a very old screenshot from Smart Cookies because some of these flavors we don't have anymore. But they used to be available through ABC Bakers. And so when we're in the troop page, as you can see, the first column after the cookies will be what your troop is ordering. So say combined on all of the order forms and everything, your girls have sold 100 boxes or packages of the Adventurefuls. So in that first column, even though it says thanks a lot, we're going to put 100 Adventurefuls, and you'll just enter all of the combinations you need for that.
Sorry about that. Okay.
No worries. So, and then in that extras column, that's where, like, if I only need 100 Adventurefuls, it is going to then round me up to the next case of cookies. So you will get a couple of extra in there. And I believe these are just for like the girl orders. And when we go farther down the screen is when we will see the booth extras.
Right. So here at the bottom, one of the things we like to talk about, you'll see that there is a save and a delete order. Please read the buttons before you click them. So you'll see here on this one, when you enter in the girl quantities, that's when you'll click save, and then it'll bring you to the next page.
Yes.
Which is the booth and extras.
Yes. So here's where you will figure out that calculation for how many cookies you will need for your booths. And again, you're going to enter them by package quantities. So if you want 3 cases of trefoils, you're going to want to enter 36 packages of cookies. If you enter 3, you will get 3 packages, and then it'll round you up to 12, so you'll end up with 12. But you want to make sure you enter all of that in a package number, not in a case number, as some of you were used to a few years ago. And then Kim, that second half of it is really tiny. What is that part?
Okay, well, I can help with that.
Oh, is that
The
just the
second half,
extras?
the second half is the extras. So you'll notice on the top portion, there's that blue box that you can enter in a number. And then here at this bottom, those are the ones where it gets you up to the next case for all of your orders. So you don't have to update to cases for each girl or for each portion of the order. It calculates that for you for your entire order. So again, you'll notice that I guess I would call that the middle section of this page. There's not a place to enter stuff. It just shows you how many extras you'll be receiving. And then
Um,
we have another surprise at the bottom, which is making sure you read the buttons before you click.
yes, make sure you read before you click. Normally we're used to save being all the way at the bottom, but that is actually our delete button in the screen. Don't delete it. Then you have to redo it all over again and you'll be
Yep.
sad.
Read and pause.
Read and pause. Yes.
Yep. And then as soon as you click save, you're going to get a new page, which is going to give you the information that Kim was telling us before about the service unit pickup time.
Yes. And I can't recall correctly if the location is pre-populated based on your service unit.
Yes.
Okay. And then our dates, some of them may be put in there already. Cookies are estimated to be delivered between February 16th and February 22nd, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And so your cookies could be coming to your service unit at any time between there. If your service units that come in on the 16th, it'll say the 16th on there. If you're not coming till the 20th, it might say the 20th on there. Our delivery drivers might, have some extra staff that's driving around and they may get there early. So that date is just kind of a floater date. It isn't necessarily the actual date they're going to show up or the actual date you can pick them up. Because if that's the date they're showing up to the service unit, your service unit might be getting a giant order like mine does. And they take the entire day that they're delivered to count everything and make sure they got enough. And then they start the actual troop pickups the next day. So the date is still kind of flexible. Don't take that one in stone, but it should be around that date. So if that date says February 17th, and it's President's Day weekend, you might want to stay in town until after your cookies have been picked up. And then you can head out of town. So,
That makes a lot of sense.
yes. Some service units will also let you do appointment times. Some of them might abide by it, some might not. But if you can at least give them a morning, afternoon, evening, like I am not going to be available at 8 a.m. on Sunday to pick them up. I go to church. So maybe I'll be better off picking them up in the afternoon or evening. So that is on there. Again, it may, have a little bit of wiggle room in there. Just based on how many troops are picking up, what kind of location you guys are picking up from. If, your service unit can fit multiple troops in at one time to pick up orders. Mine get collected at a storage unit. We do not have room for 2 troops to be picking them all up at the same time. We barely have room for 1 troop with multiple vehicles picking everything up. So that is also a thing. And a lot of your service units, your service unit cookie manager or your service unit team have done this before. They're familiar with that process and they've, developed something or have a plan in mind to get those cookies through quickly, efficiently, and correctly.
I have actually something I want to share too, and that is that you yourself, you don't have to pick up the cookies yourself necessarily.
Sure.
If you have I don't know, strapping, strong friend who you trust with cookies and money, you can instruct them or ask them to go get them for you. You can bring helpers. You can, anything that you need to facilitate picking up the cookies is great. You can make sure that you are in touch with your service unit cookie manager because they likely know who you are. And so if they see a stranger coming to pick up your cookies, they might not be excited about that. So keeping them in the loop, who's coming, when they're coming, and your service unit cookie managers are able to run this cookie business in a way that they see fit. So they might not use these smart cookies appointment times. They might be sending you a sign up genius. So it's important, especially in January and February, for these reasons, to go to your service unit meetings. Make sure you're communicating with the service unit cookie manager. Make sure you pay good attention to their emails. Even if you can't read it, at midnight on Wednesday when they mail them out, take a look at it Thursday or Friday and make sure you read through all the instructions, because that will set you all up for success. It'll be great.
All right. So back to the slide in front of us, we've got another save button. This time we don't have a delete button, so that's good. And then your delivery details will then be at the bottom. So that will give you the location. I think it's a little bit more of an accurate location. If you need to edit the delivery location for whatever reason, I don't know why you necessarily would, because you're going to be picking them up from your service unit. But say you find out last minute that you're not able to pick them up from your normal location, and you need to still go to the town next door in order to pick them up. If their service unit is aware of this and they're getting your cookie delivery, you could pick them up there. But most service units are getting your cookies, and so they won't have the ability to change that last minute.
Yes,
that is something that is set in motion weeks before they even get the email saying, hey, this is when it's getting picked up.
Yep, absolutely. The options. So this particular screen, it exists for councils. Like, for example, there's one that's just Orange County, California, and they have a giant parking lot where they do all the cookies. And so you could come at one time or another, because it's not just the exact number of cookies that were ordered at somebody's house. It's this, they call it a drop or a mega drop. And there are also some, like in Manhattan, that have multiple locations that an individual could pick them up from, but you can't really change the place after that, because again, they're collecting and taking to each location exactly what was ordered. So this would be more of a situation where you would contact your service unit cookie manager and see if you need a delay or something like that. All right, I'm going to move on to the next slide, and we're talking a little bit about the initial order time period and what girls are doing now, which is essentially right now they're taking orders. They've their order card, they're collecting the money up front. There are also digital cookie orders, some being shipped directly to the customer, others the girl is delivering, and girls should be turning in money to you.
Yes.
And so this gives you some background for what you're going to need to order on the evening of January 30th.
Yes. So in our initial order, we want to make sure that it includes all of the girls' orders from their paper order forms, all girl delivered orders from digital cookie, which will merge automatically. You don't even have to do anything with that. They will just be in there. Any cookies that you need for the first 2 weeks of your booths, any cookies that girls would like to use for maybe a mom and me booth or a walkabout. And remember, true cookie managers can absolutely determine what that number is. If you don't want a girl walking off with more than 50 packages of cookies for her walkabout, only give her 50 packages of cookies for her walkabout. That's 100% okay. They do have that water bottle reward at 350 packages sold. If they hit that, that is a separate order that you do have to place. And I think we're going to do a live of a faux initial order in a minute. So I can show you that screen and where it's going to go. So also, when you're doing your booths, order confidently. No, if you think that last year you guys averaged about 100 packages per booth, but you know that that first weekend usually it's a lot busier. Go for 150, 200. You can always take more booths later on if you still have ones left over that you're trying to sell. Or you can do those walkabouts. You can do individual girl walkabouts. You could do a troop walkabout. Have 4 or 5 of your girls get together if you have 4 or 5 girls in your troop. Um, I have my girls are all over the place. So maybe if you have some girls who live in the same community, they can get together and take a wagon full of cookies over onto their neighbors. Um, and then they split whatever cookie packages they sell. Sorry, my little guy's trying to get in here. I don't know if you can hear him. Then, having that, group go together. Now, maybe one parent can take them to go do those cookies, and then the other one, gets to hang out and make dinner or get an errand done or something. Although I think if they're two unrelated girls, you need 2 adults with them anyway. But you would then have an extra set of eyes if you have 2 adults there. I know that some families feel that it's not necessarily super safe to be going out door to door, which is okay. But if you have an extra adult with you, maybe that would make them feel a little bit better about the girls going door to door and selling cookies. All right. Also, you will know how many booths you're doing because our booth scheduler is this weekend. So we have got a, excuse me, the 21st, 24th, and 27th are when we get to choose our rounds of booths. And then on the 27th, they do open up for just a mass selection. You can choose however many you want. A lot of these booths might appear in the system as unconfirmed, which means that they will probably be participating. They've participated before, but we just haven't heard necessarily from the manager of the store that, yes, this is good. Girls can be there, no problem. And those phone calls are in the process, and they take a little bit. So the managers are busy people. Let's see. There are potentially, some supply chain issues. We have not heard of any. And
Except that we're living in one right now, right? It's not exactly Snowmageddon, but it's getting there. This is the first day this week that I've been able to get to the office because of the snow. And so our cookie folks have actually already started shipping cookies into Airvan to our delivery partner so that they are here and ready to go when the cookie deliveries need to begin, and so that it's not a weather issue when that begins. But there are any number of things could happen. There could be a fuel shortage or a trucker strike or anything. So it's and what that means is not that you're not going to get your cookies. It just means that it may take us a while to replenish cookies. So that's why we're asking you to get 2 weeks worth of booth cookies at the outset, because again, it might take us 10 to 14 days to get more cookies into the warehouse and out to your local cupboards.
All right. I think there's some important dates on here as well.
Yes, it's about the reason why we said to order on the evening of January 30th. And that's because that the troop cookie managers are going to be locked out of the initial order portion of Smart Cookies after the due date or after they submit. So as soon as you click submit, if you do that at lunchtime on the 30th, if you click submit, people are going to still have orders for you. They're going to need to add some because Granny wants more Thin Mints or what have you. So after you click submit, you won't be able to make any changes. Your service unit cookie manager will be able to help you on the 31st. And then after that, I can help you or Kim H can help you until about 9 a.m. on February 1st. And then we have to submit the whole order to the cookie baker. So please do, we're not asking you to stay up till midnight by any means, although some of us do already. But please do wait until, after dinner or something like that to submit your order, because otherwise you will need to reach out to your service unit cookie manager for that.
Yeah. Or if you have parents who are late night, workers. I have a couple of moms who usually don't get around to entering cookie stuff until like 10 at night because that's when all of the kids have gone to bed and she finally has a minute to sit down and think about it. So if you know you have parents who are like that, uh, make an adjustment for that and maybe say, oh, hey, I need you to have all of this in there the day before I need to have it due. So that way you can make accommodations. And so that you know when they text you at 9 a.m. the next morning going, oh, I forgot to do it, you have some wiggle room. So this next slide that we have up, this one is super important because this is how you are going to determine what cookies to order and what quantities for your cookie booths. So in our council, each council, the varieties sell differently. Like I said earlier, I'm originally from the Midwest. When I sold cookies as a girl, the peanut butter patties and the peanut butter sandwich, they had a lot higher sales than they do in our council. They're just not as popular here, and that's okay. But because this is council specific, you can, if you tried Googling it or going into a Facebook group that's nationwide, and saying, how many cookies do I order for my booth? What quantities of what? They're going to say, ask your council, because what might sell better in New York is not necessarily what's going to sell better out here. In our council, Thin Mints, Caramel Delights, and Peanut Butter Patties are the top three. And then we've got Adventurefuls and Lemonades that are a little bit higher up than the other varieties of trefoils, toasties, and the peanut butter sandwich. And then the caramel chocolate chip, you can order based on that 3% or just kind of like however many we have, because like we said, we only order so much, and when we are out of them, we're out of them. But we did order more for this year so that we can accommodate those orders, because we did have a lot of people outside of their pre-order that were like, I really like those. They were delicious. Because I think they definitely taste better than the other bakers' gluten-free cookies. And even my kid will open a package and she's not gluten-free at all. And I'm just like, what are you doing eating those? So I do have a awesome little spreadsheet that helps break this down. In addition to being a workbook for cookie booths, and we will share that on our Facebook page and our FAQ page. You'll have to forgive me. I'm getting over a cough. So my voice is kind of going, and yeah. So I think when we switch to my screen, I will share that as well as all the other fun things I have to show for you. So let's go to the next slide and finish talking about these.
That's our big thank you. Yeah, so we can all switch and let you share your screen.
Cool.
All right, you should be able to do that now, Kim, when you're ready.
Share my screen. Share that one. Oh. All right, do you see my Excel spreadsheet now, Kim?
Yes, that looks great.
Cool. All right. So this is something I did last year for my troop when I was trying to determine how many cookies I order for a cookie booth. Last year was my first year as a troop cookie manager. I wasn't sure what I was, necessarily doing. And so I did math. Math is my friend. Even when cookie math isn't normal math, this math was my friend. So what I have here is we can put in a total number of cookies, our total number of booths that we have for this first couple of weeks. And I think I'm going to sell 50 packages of cookies at each cookie booth that I have those first 2 weeks. So I've got my percentages in here of how much each flavor usually has in our council. And my brain is a little OCD, so I always have to put things in the order that they are on the order card, because that's just how my brain works.
Good idea.
Yeah, just keep them the same every time. So then my column here, I have the number of packages that I need to order per booth. So I would need, for 50 packages per booth, I would need 4 Adventurefuls, 2.5 or 3 packages of Toasties, because I can't still have a package. So be realistic, round. If you think, I know trefoils don't really sell at our cookie booths very well. So maybe I'm only going to bring 2 packages of those instead of 3. And maybe I want to bring an extra lemonade instead. because the way my girls sell them, they can sell an extra lemonade before they can sell an extra trefoil, or an extra adventureful, because that's when I have 4 or 5 girls that is their favorite cookie, and they will, be like, oh, hey, this one's my favorite, you should order this one, when they ask, hey, I want one more, what should I get? That's one of their go-tos, is the adventurefuls. And then the next column, I have how many I need for the number of cookie booths that my girls are going to be working. Now, say I decide 50 seems a little small. Maybe they want to have a higher goal, and I want to make it 100. It's all formulas. It is going to change all of my numbers. Say we're not doing 3 booths, say we're doing 5, and now I know exactly how many packages that I need to order for those cookie booths. If for whatever reason your brain needs to see these in cases and packages, you can take that total number divided by 12, and you will have how many cases and how many packages that you need to order.
This is great, Kim. So we're going to upload this to our FAQ page and to Facebook so this can be used.
Yeah. And
awesome.
Then I'll just pop into this one. So this is one of our actual cookie booths from last year. And I've cleared out this workbook, and I will have a clean copy that will be uploaded. So the first one actually just says master sheet, and it is completely blank. And then I did reorder these so they match the order card, because that was driving me nuts last year. But we've got, you can put in your initial cookies that you bring to the booth. You can put in the final numbers of cookies that are remaining after the end of the booth to figure out how many are sold. And again, like if I were to have had one left, it's a formula. It's going to populate all of those numbers for me. And then I can put in how much cash we ended up at the end. If we started with anything, this one happened to be started with volunteers money, so we didn't put anything in there, and they just took their like $20 out back at the end. The girls that were there, and then when you put in how many girls were there for how many hours, say this one was only there for 2 hours, it will change my numbers down here as to how many cookies she earned. And then it actually does change over here as well. I disabled that for these sheets for last year, but the master does change all of those numbers. And then it will give you a summary of all of the money. You can enter in how much you guys collected in credit cards from the digital cookie reports, to end up, figuring out how many they sold. All evens out at the end. Some troops can use this bottom part. Maybe they have a girl that comes, to a booth that says, hey, I need 5 packages of cookies. My granny ordered some more, and I just need to pick some up, but I can't get to the leader's house. Can I pick them up from the cookie booth? And your leader can say, yeah, sure, that'd be fine. This is where we're doing a cookie booth today. I'm going to let the adult in charge know that you're going to be coming to pick these up. And then I can put in a name down here and say, my daughter is picking up 5 packages of adventurefuls. And then it will calculate it up here. So now it says I have a discrepancy of $25 because I manipulated it. So it will add that in there as well. Which is kind of nice if that's something you want to offer to your girls. You don't have to. It can just be some extra fun stuff at the bottom of the page. But the formula does flow into everything else, which is super nice. I don't remember where I found this, but it was a godsend to me last year. So I want to share that with all of you.
That's great. I love how it calculates everything for you. It's wonderful. Yeah. So
But
we'll upload these to our Facebook page and have links on our FAQ page. And one other thing that we needed to share today, we're recording this video on Friday, January 19th. And this may not always be the case. I hope that it isn't. But today, right now, there are some discrepancies between the communications between smart cookies and digital cookie right now. So I want to assure you that no orders have been lost. No orders have been duplicated. It's just that the systems are not communicating properly and in the right time frame, so it's making some of the reports look like they are off. We've been assured by our cookie baker that they will review every single girl order before we submit our initial order on February 1st on our end to make sure that no orders are being, lost or duplicated. And this is a top priority for the national digital cookie team as well as for the ABC smart cookies team. And so they're working on this communication issue as fast as they possibly can.
That way they don't have to constantly be looking over thousands of girls' orders.
Yeah, it's a lot of extra work. It's already a busy time. And so all the extra work and extra questions and things, it just makes it even harder. Yep.
Yeah.
All
All
right,
right.
Kim, was there anything else we wanted to share today?
We wanted to go through a mock initial order entry.
Oh, yes. Okay, you're
Um,
still sharing your screen, so we can get started there. Great.
mhm. So where we're going to start is we're actually going to start in digital cookie because right now this is the most accurate location for all of your cookie sales. Um, so as you can see in here, we've got my little troop. Not the troop I normally run, but this is one of our little council troops. Um,
We may
and
need you to change your screen because I think we still are looking at the spreadsheet.
are we still looking at the spreadsheet?
I'm still looking at the spreadsheet. I don't know.
I am screen. Oh, okay. Well, let's stop sharing that screen and let's start sharing this screen. Is that better?
Yes, that looks like some digital cookie.
Yay. All right. Now we're in digital cookie. So, so here's our little troop of independently registered Girl Scouts. And so as you can see, I have a couple of orders that are pending, but we do have cookie sales on here, so yay. Now we're gonna go all the way down to the bottom of our troop page, and we are going to pull, let's see, I'm gonna pull our initial order report. Because this is going to tell me everything that my parents have entered in their My Cookie pages. And they have up until January 27th to do that. That gives you as the troop leaders a couple of extra days to say, okay, parents, I need the copies of your paper orders. Sorry. I need copies of those paper forms. They can shoot you a photo. They can send it, like scan it and email it to you. Or they could just hand you their paper order form. However you decide to collect them as Troop Cookie Manager, it's up to you. I usually do photos of them or scans for my families. That way they can actually keep the physical order form. And then we put a big fat Sharpie line on it, and then they keep placing more orders. But then they know anything above the Sharpie line is something that we've already entered and we don't need to count for again. So I've got that file. So I don't know if that is going to flip for you guys because
It has not. We're still seeing the digital cookie page.
I'm not even seeing it coming up. So
Oh, all right.
Let me see if I can open it this way. My Excel is being temperamental today. All right. So it looks like I have just one girl on here who's got an order put in. So the important thing with this, I don't know if it's necessarily important to share my screen on it, is just to make sure that you download that report and that when you're looking in Smart Cookies, that you're comparing what's on your digital cookie report to what you're seeing in Smart Cookies. Because like, Kim had mentioned, they're having some communication errors, but everything in digital cookie is what is placed. Those are all of their online orders. Those are all of the parental input orders. Digital cookie is where you are going to have the most accurate information. I think I've said that a few times. The most accurate information. So that then when we come in here to Smart Cookies, I think I have Sienna that had orders somewhere. I don't even see Sienna on here. All right. Digital cookie be my friend. Oh, it might be because I have orders pending approval, maybe. I don't know. But so I would be able to see in here that I have some orders that have been put in. Like here I have Savannah who's got 12 on her initial order. Now those could be from um, an online order. Those could be from an order that mom and dad have submitted. It'll pop up there on the initial order. Um, I so we'll go in here and I'm going to pretend I'm not going to click on, submit or anything. I'm going to pretend to submit this order. And I like going in when I do these, I like going in by girl, which allows me to see the packages that are for girl delivery on smart cookie or digital cookies, which will populate. I'm stumbling over these words today. Populate is pre-sale packages. And then the individual packages should be the ones that mom and dad have entered manually in the My Cookies tab. I have heard from a couple of troop leaders, and this even happened to my daughter, that there were some random packages that were entered in the individual packages right now that parents haven't entered in, troop leaders haven't entered in. They're sitting there. My daughter had 3 sitting in there for cookie share, and I was just like, I don't know what those are for. I didn't enter anything. Her troop leader didn't enter anything. We're not sure why they're there, but that's part of that communication issue. And it is getting worked on. So once I am done with Chloe, so maybe she hasn't given me any orders, so I'm not going to put anything in there. But I'm going to drop down here to Savannah because Savannah does have some orders. So here I see that she does have orders that have been populated from Digital Cookie, which I did double check with that download. I did see those on there, so I wanted to make sure that those girl delivery orders make it out to her customers. But then they also sent me their form, and they have 5 more toast days, 12 thin mints, and 5 caramels that they need. So I'll pop those in there because mom wasn't sure how to do it. And now I have all of her totals on the other side. So I do that for each and every one of the girls. If mom and dad have entered these, then you just have to take that order form and go, okay, I see 20 adventurefuls, 20 adventurefuls, awesome. I see 15 toast days, 15 toast days, awesome. Those are matching. If, say, they have listed on their form only 20 trefoils, but maybe in smart cookies it's saying 200, possibly they just, fat fingered it or their key stuck, and it happens a lot. But we want to make sure that they actually are getting what they're ordering and not a lot extra because a key got stuck. So it's important for those troop cookie managers and troop leaders to double check those numbers based on the parent order forms. Because, God forbid, you now have to try to figure out how you're going to get rid of 200 more trefoils. So once I've entered everybody in, I can pop down to the bottom and I can see what I need for my for my cookie boots. And again, if I go and I use that calculator and I need only 16 adventurefuls for my 3 upcoming cookie booths, I can put in 16 adventurefuls, and when I go down to my bottom here for my extras, it'll tell me now I need 8 more extras because that's going to round me up to the next full case. Because that initial order delivery, they are only delivering in full cases. It would be pretty chaotic if they had to open up packages, and yeah, let's not make them do more work. So it rounds it up to the next case because those ship nicely instead of shipping individual little packages. So all of that is done. If I feel like I need to make any notes, I can make any notes. Maybe I want to note here that what's one of my other girls? Sophia. Maybe Sophia's mom did not give me her order form on time. So I didn't have anything to compare it to. So maybe I want to make a note in here. It's just saying Sophia, I'm spelling this wrong. Mom entered but didn't send photo. That way I know when I look back at it that, hey, and her mom goes, why did we order 16 lemonades? I only needed 6 lemonades. Why are there 16 on here? And I can go, okay, well, you entered that all in yourself, and you didn't send me a photo, so that's on you, not on me, because I asked for that 6 times before I actually submitted it. That way you can hold those parents responsible for, not communicating with you correctly, like you have asked them multiple times. All about accountability this time. So finally, once I am done, I can click the ready for review. It does pop down to the bottom as well. So I click save, and then I can click ready for review. Because, oh, God forbid it doesn't save correctly, and now my review is wrong. So click save, and then click ready for review, or hop back up to the top, and you can click ready for review up in the red bar. Which once it's ready, it will turn blue, and the slider will move over. And this ready for review will move on to saying submitted for review, or something to that like. I can't remember the wording exactly. I also believe that red bar changes color. It might change to like a turquoisey aqua blue once you've clicked that button, but I might be wrong on that. It may not change color. I just remember the blue showing up, but that could be the button click.
We'll see, won't we?
It's been a year. It's been a year. All right. That is initial order. Oh, so the other thing with that initial order is if I had any girls who hit that 350 for the early reward, I want to be able to go into my rewards tab. And I'm going to manage my recognition orders.
Well, typically you would start a recognition order first.
Which it'll prompt me right here.
Yep, please create. There you go.
I'm going to create a recognition order.
Yep, and you want to do the early.
The early order. And so currently says none of my girls have sold enough, but you do have to click on unread and go through all of them and save them. So if you have 5 or 6 girls, this is a pretty fast and simple process. If you are like me and you have a big troop and you have 20-something girls, it's a little bit more tedious, but you still have to click through every single one of them and click on that save and review. If you do have somebody who earned it, it'll pop up here in the item section. You click on the item that they're earning, and then you click save. If you don't click on the item, then it doesn't populate, and it'll give you an error when you back out and you go into the screen again. So that's that. And then once this is done, you do want to click the submit button on the red bar again. And it will submit your order so that your girls who've earned the water bottle get their water bottles.
Sounds great.
Another thing I do want to just mention with the early reward is that we do want to remember, as troop cookie managers and troop leaders and the responsible adults in the system, we do want to remember to stay honest and fair with our girls. We are their examples. They look up to us to be those models of those words. We are the model of the Girl Scout law for our girls. And if I have a girl who she's maybe 100 packages off, and can I honest and fair say yes, she earned that by giving her some booth cookies, or is that really honest and fair? Did she earn it? So just a reminder, we want to stay with that honest and fair, and we want to not only have it in ourselves, but we want to show it to our girls. Most of the time the girls, either know they earned it or they know they didn't. And if they know they didn't earn it, if they know they were 50 packages off, they're not expecting that reward. Would they really like it? Yeah, probably. Would they be super excited if, mom said, hey, we're going to do a walkabout. I'm going to sell those extra 50 cookies. Let's put that on there because she does want to do that. She does want to do the walkabout. Then it's, again, your version of, not version, but your up to the discretion of the troop cooking manager. If that is a girl who mom is reliable for that, and they will get out, they will sell those 50 packages, you can add it. If they say it's 150 packages and they want to add it, you can use your discretion, you can use your judgment and say, I don't feel that that's right to add on there. I will order packages in our troop extras for girls to do walkabouts, or for any additional pre-orders that they get between January 28th and February 23rd, when booth starts. But I can't in good conscience add that directly to her initial order. You can say that. Mom's probably like, oh, okay, I tried. They won't get mad at you. They'll just be like, okay, I was just trying to get her a cool water bottle. It happens, and yeah, just throwing that reminder on there.
Terrific. All right. Anything else we'd like to share before we head off today?
I can't think of anything.
Alrighty, well, we are going to post this video today. We will have our typical Tuesday evening FAQ session on Zoom at 6 o'clock. We may have lost the link to where we're hooking that up, so we'll make sure we have a good setup and communicate the link out. And we both hope you have a terrific weekend. Thanks so
Yes.
much for cooking with us, everyone. Alrighty, thanks again. We'll see you next time.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye-bye.